It's me again, Hillary Mulick, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am a destination wedding photographer living in North Carolina, and here on my channel you will see education for photographers, including tips for business, marketing, shooting digital, shooting film, as well as a peek into my personal life here in the Carolinas. Before we get started with today's topic, there is a free guide for you, how to get 10 storytelling photos with one pose. It's my secret to getting a variety of images for my clients while also telling a story and keeping them very relaxed without moving them around a lot throughout the session. So make sure to go to the link in my description to download that guide. All right, I am so excited for today's topic. I'm talking all about outsourcing. So if you have been in the wedding photography game for a little while, you might be feeling the pressures where you just don't have enough time for a lot of stuff. And that might be the sign to start outsourcing some things. So I wanted to talk to you about just my process with outsourcing, where I started, what things I outsource now, and just to kind of give you some ideas on how you can help lighten the load so that you can be spending less time doing tasks that could really be done by someone else and spending more time on tasks that's going to help your business grow and help you make more money in the end. So I wanted to start today's video off with just a little story. My husband and I were having a conversation some time ago about tax stuff and how there are certain tasks in my business, like paying sales tax or keeping track of receipts and just different things that are they're really not that hard to do. I could do them, but it's just that I don't have the time to be spending doing all of these tiny little tasks that really anybody can be doing when I could be booking more clients and talking with clients and growing the education side of my business. So I want to give you full permission that it is okay to not do everything in your business. In fact, in order to help your business grow to where you can make more money and actually provide more freedom in your life, you need to start thinking about outsourcing. So I want to walk you through the process on how I got started with outsourcing. The very first thing I did when outsourcing is I hired an accountant. And my family and my husband's family have always done their own taxes. Their taxes have never really been super complicated because they all work pretty normal, non-entrepreneur jobs. But when I started my business and there were just lots of things that I needed to keep track of, like miles and just certain deductions and all that, I just knew that I didn't want to mess up this side of my business and be in trouble with the government because I was doing something incorrectly. So the very first thing that I started outsourcing was my taxes, and I hired an accountant. You can hire a CPA as well, and I think that's a really good first start or really good first step when you are looking at outsourcing something in your business. The second thing that I outsourced in my business is photo editing. Now, this was something that it was hard for me to let go of. I'm sure a lot of you photographers feel the same. You think of editing as your art, and you just don't want someone to be in charge of that because it won't be your art anymore. And let me tell you, I felt the exact same way, but when you talk to a photo editor and how that process actually works with them editing your photos, you're gonna realize that your art is still yours and you're actually still editing a small portion of your photos. They are just batching the rest of them to match the rest of your photos to the small portion that you have edited. So how it works with my editor is I cull my images, I upload all of them to Lightroom, and then I edit what's called my anchor images. So these could be your sneak peek images that you're sent to your clients. So what I do is I edit a few photos in multiple sections of the day. So for a wedding, I will edit a few detail shots, a few getting ready shots, a few bride and groom portraits, a few wedding party pictures, maybe one or two family photos, a few photos of the ceremony, and then a few detail photos of the reception, and then maybe a few dancing photos from later that night. So all in all, I'm editing maybe like 50 to 75 photos, and those are my anchor images that I'm going to send over to my editor with the rest of the gallery. So what I do all of this in Lightroom, and then I export the catalog so that my editor can see all the images I've edited, and then she can see all of the images that still need to be edited. And what she does is she looks at my edits and she just batches them to the rest of the images from that portion of the day. And it's amazing because really I'm only spending, I don't know, 30 minutes or so editing these images, and then I export the catalog, send the rest of the images over to her, and she batch edits the rest of it, sends it back over to me. I look through and maybe I might make 1 or 2 tweaks, mostly just like crop or something like that, and then I will export the whole gallery, and those are like 1,000 images that I did not have to edit, and she gets them done in like a day or 2. It's amazing, and I will never go back to not having a photo editor. With that being said, I actually do edit all of my portrait sessions. I just think that's easier. I only deliver between 75 and 100 images from a portrait session, so I feel like at that point, if I were to get all the images into Lightroom and then edit my favorites, send the catalog to my editor, wait for them to come back, I could really just realistically sit at my computer for maybe an extra 30 minutes and just edit the rest of the images myself and have the turnaround time be a little bit quicker for my portrait sessions. But for weddings, it is such a huge time saver to have a photo editor. So I highly recommend looking for a photo editor if you are shooting a really high volume of weddings. So the next thing I did when it came to outsourcing is I started outsourcing a portion of my Instagram. And I know that there's some conflicting thoughts out there on this because you want your Instagram to be your personal platform. And for me it is, but there were just certain parts of my Instagram that I just really dreaded doing. And I found an Instagram manager to do these tasks for me. So what my Instagram manager does is I send them favorite galleries or just favorite images that I've recently shot. They arrange my feed in a way where all the images look pretty in the feed. And then I also send them my calendar on just different shoots that I'm doing the next month, different things that I'm excited about, maybe traditions that I do for the holidays, different family trips I'm planning. And they have a copywriter that writes captions for me based on this information. And I actually really love it. I think that I go through all the copy that the copywriter writes for my image captions, and I can edit or tweak anything. I really like using emojis in my image captions, so they make sure to do that too. They just really customize it to how I want my captions to be on my Instagram feed. And then they're also in charge of tagging all the vendors, which I hate doing, and they do all the relevant hashtags, which I hate doing. So they do all of this stuff, and I do 6 posts a week through them for the whole month, and it's just been really amazing just having them take care of my feed, and then I can really just focus on my Instagram stories and just other parts of my business. And it's been great too because I've been able to get a lot more increase from Instagram now because I'm having my recent work in my feed more often now. So they will my Instagram manager will post images from weddings that I really like, or venues that I really want to shoot out again, or locations that I really want to shoot out again, so that when people who go to Instagram and they are searching for images of those venues, my images are popping up. And so and then they inquire with me to shoot their wedding at that venue. And so it's been really amazing. I think my inquiries from Instagram have really gone up because of having my Instagram manager take charge of my feed for me. So that's another thing that you can think about outsourcing that I have been doing. I think I've been outsourcing my Instagram feed for a little over a year now, and it's been really great. The next thing that I have started outsourcing recently, I hired a VA, which is a virtual assistant. And virtual assistants can really do any portion of your business for you. And it's awesome. If there are lots of just like really random things in your business that you need help with, I think hiring a virtual assistant, even if it's just for a few hours a week or maybe 1 hour a week or just something like that to just help take some things off your plate would be really great. So specifically what I hired my virtual assistant for is to help me with my YouTube channel. So I do all the filming for my YouTube video, and I write the descriptions and I provide the links for everything, but they post it to YouTube, they schedule it, they schedule a blog post to go out with it, they schedule a email to go out to my email list, letting them know about my YouTube channel. So they just are in charge of a lot of things having to do with my YouTube channel so that I can stay focused on the creative part, writing the content and filming, and they can focus on more getting it out to my audience. So that's just something that I have my virtual assistant working on right now, but there are lots of things that you can have your virtual assistant do for you. They can do blogging, they can do Pinterest for you, they can do just like any little task in your business that maybe you want to have time for but just don't. They can take care of that for you, and it's just really awesome. So virtual assistant is another thing that you can consider outsourcing for and hiring in your own business. The very last thing that I outsource in my business, and this is not necessarily photography related, but it's just been so amazing. I've been on an outsourcing binge kind of. It's like once you start outsourcing, you kind of just want to outsource everything because you realize that by outsourcing stuff that you don't really want to be doing, but you know that needs to be doing, it helps give you your time back so that you can focus more on things that are actually going to make you money in your business. So I actually make a lot more money now in my business since I have started outsourcing certain things. So this last thing that I started outsourcing this year was house cleaning. And if you follow me on my Instagram, you know that I actually love cleaning. I love cleaning. I love organizing. I do a deep clean of my house multiple times a year. And I really do love it and I enjoy it, and cleaning is just like a downtime thing for me that I really like, but it's just something that I don't have time for a lot of the time. But I started outsourcing my house cleaning where they come every 2 weeks and they just do a good general clean of the whole house where they clean all the floors, wipe everything down, dust everything, wipe down all the counters. They clean the bathrooms. It's just been really great to know that my house is going to be cleaned every 2 weeks, and that's not something that I need to stop working and stop my creative things in my business because my house is a mess. And I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person where if something is messy and needs to be taken care of, I have a hard time focusing on anything else. So if I know I need to be doing YouTube filming, for example, but my office is a disaster and the floors are really gross, I put off filming because I can't concentrate on being creative when my house is falling apart. So I started outsourcing house cleaning this year, and it's been really great, and it's really been able to help me focus on other things in my business that's just gonna make me more money. All right, so that's been my process with outsourcing from start to where I am now. If you have any questions about outsourcing, leave them in the comments down below and I'll make sure to go through and answer those. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to download that free guide in the description, and I will see you again next week with another YouTube video.